Hello, YouTube friends. It's Molar, and I am back in Alexandria, Ptolemy's Alexandria. It's been 30 years since I've been here. They want me to continue to make this the greatest city on earth. We're going to want 7,000 population, 75s for culture, prosperity, and kingdom rating. We're building two monuments. We're building the Library of Alexandria. It'll eventually burn down, but not on my watch. And we're going to do the lighthouse. So that's all exciting. What? What happened to my city? They built walls around it and it's gone. Is there a fire? Is there a flood? Looks like the only thing that's left is the mausoleum that I built for Alexander. It used to be here, and now it's here. I'm confused. Maybe a giant earthquake came and slid it over. Maybe a very strong wind blew it to the west. I know. We're going to rebuild. We're going to make an even better city than we made last time. Got to get to know the place. I need to look at the world map and see what we've got for trade. Got to see what we've got for goods. Looks like we can still do papyrus. We've got reeds on the map. We can do clay and pots and maybe bricks. We can do beer and weave and make jewelry. We can do grain, so we definitely can make bricks. We can't do barley this time, and we can fish. For the gods, we've got Ra as our patron god. We've got Bast this time, as well as Tom. Bast will be fun. We'll be able to do festivals to her, and she'll throw festivals for everyone else. So this is actually going to be kind of nice. We'll just keep yearly festivals to Bast up. For military, it's Academy and Recruiter. And same as last time, we can do archers and infantry, transport ships, and warships. I've taken a few moments to scout out the map. We've got Nenefer and Medem and Baharaya Oasis as land trading routes. Everybody else is by water. Just a heads up, it looks like we can sell a lot of grain and a lot of papyrus by water. We can sell beer by water. We can sell bricks and pottery by land. So why don't you give me a few minutes and I'll come up with an over-planned, overly ambitious layout and tell you what we're going to do and where. See you in a moment. I finished the layout. I'm actually pretty excited. Have to admit I cheated. I went and looked at the final mission for Alexandria and found out that they put the library right here. So I'm going to do the same just so my city doesn't look that different when I come back to it later on. We've set up 1, 2, 3, 4 small senator blocks, a medium senator block, and 2 large senator blocks. Temple complex will go here, of course, which will let us evolve the inner row of housing up to manors. But we're going to do the tokenomics here. We're going to do weavers and jewelers. Get them going with just the Ta blessings. We're going to do the navy here. We're going to rely on beer, I think, early in the game. We're going to do a bunch of breweries here. We'll bring in barley. We'll branch out from there. We have a market for pottery and for bricks, so we'll do that down here around the farming, and we'll eventually get a papyrus industry going here. We have Bast, of course, in town, so I am going to put down the festival square and hold the festival. Well, it's super cheap. Get one off to Bast, and hopefully she'll throw one for everybody else, and we'll get the blessing chain rolling. So all that's really left to do here is to add in the water supply so that we can get people coming to town and get the water carriers out. We'll do it in the far-flung areas first. And then after that, I'll lay down the final housing in our initial industries, but we'll lay down these first couple of places, 2x2 house here and here. We'll do the entrance houses. It'll supply us with the employment for the water carriers. So I think I'll go and get these two here now. So where you put down houses, of course, is where people walk to first. So we'll start off with the farthest walking walkers and work our way closer to the entrance. This will be an important house for getting all of these guys employed as well. So there we have it. We'll put hygiene on priority 1. And as soon as the water carriers in all these blocks start walking, we'll switch it off of that and probably not do anything else because we do have a lot of different things we want employed here right off the bat. Give me another few moments. I'll set up the 4 small senator blocks completely. I will get at least a row of housing here down on the temple complex side of these 2 large blocks. We won't feed them. I think we're going to end up trying to feed these 3 areas with imports. So we've set up this initial housing area, which will later on be papyrus industry, close to the reeds. Actually built this gate here, calling it the Death Gate because it gives access to the field of reeds. Small Egyptian joke. We've set this bazaar up to buy game meat, and this warehouse will accept game meat. We'll be bringing that in as an import and feeding this until we get our grain industry going. This little block here has a temple to Bast, which we've turned off because there's no sense giving them a god until we're going to feed them, and we won't be feeding this block for a while. Likewise, we've got these temples turned off as well. We've set up a small little weaver industry. If we ever get blessed by Ptah to have them stocked, we will accept linen here and we'll accept jewelry here. We have our only temple to Ra right here. We've got our brewery industry here. We're set up to accept figs and to feed this block with figs. And the dock here will do barley and beer right now. Later on, I think we'll sell grain out of here too. Speaking of grain, we've got our lower blocks, Bast and Ptah looked after here. I've got 32 grain farms and we'll turn them on in May. This will accept grain, and these bazaars will buy grain, and we'll be actually importing grain initially for these 2 housing blocks. We'll try to get the small senator blocks fed, and then once we get a harvest next January off the fields here, we'll start feeding everybody with grain and suspend the food imports. So you may have noticed there are a lot of temples to everybody except the patron god. We've got a lot of money. I'm just going to put it down. We're going to buy the oracle right off the bat here so that we can go to our treasury and reduce everybody's wages. That oracle makes people work for cheaper, and we're going to turn it off. It takes 50 workers, and it doesn't have to be turned on to make everybody happy. So we're going to go and we're also going to open up all the trade except for Madam. They sell straw and buy things we don't need. We're not going to open them. So we'll open Athens, we'll open Enkami, we'll open Byblos, we'll open Kyrene. Those are all our water trade routes, and then we'll open up our land ones, and they're a big source of our barley. So that's an important trade route. We're going to bring our figs and our game meat in from Bahariya Oasis. And Weenet will be bringing in barley as well. So we've got everybody open except for Madam. We'll want to be importing marble as soon as we can, but it is 210 a pop. I have no idea how many we need. I don't know when we're going to start. I'd like to start soon because I'd like to get the monuments done. But we're going to import 3,200 for figs. Import 3,200 for game meat. We're going to do the same with grain for now. We'll be exporting it later. We'll export bricks when over 0. We won't be making them for a while. We will be exporting pottery when over 0. Again, we won't be doing that for a while. We'll try to get a full yard full of barley. We'll export beer when over 0. We'll be doing this one right off the bat. We've shut grain off until May. We've also shut linen off. We're going to export when over 100. So if we ever get some into a yard, we'll always have one in the yard for Todd to notice if he wants to bless us with a full yard. We'll be exporting papyrus over 0 for now. Exporting jewelry, same as linen, when we are over 100, so we'll always have one in the yard for them to see. So we're all set up now for our population to come in, for us to feed these initial small senator blocks, and we'll have beer on right away. We will turn grain on in May. We'll start building our brick and pottery industries here as soon as we can, and we'll start building our papyrus industry. So here we are, we're ready to bring people in. Always such a big deal when we go live. All the planning and everything, it's all on the line. Find out how badly you screwed up. Hopefully didn't make too many long-term problems for myself with all of the work we put in. So we have some guys starting to peel off to the lower housing blocks. The first batch are all heading up to the top. When these houses get populated here, I will switch to the water carrier lens so we can get out of hygiene focus. What we're looking for, of course, is for the water carrier to leave. He already has here. All these future houses will have the initial upgrade immediately as soon as an immigrant moves in. Got the top section here going. We've got this one going. Got this one going. So now we're just waiting on this space right here. So it's working pretty fast. Okay, good. So everybody has got the water carriers out. It is already March. When May comes, we'll turn on our own farming. We've got some figs in the storage yard here, so these guys are going to start getting fed. We've got grain delivered here already, so these housing blocks are going to have food right away here in March. This should get game meat pretty soon. And we just went into our reserve funds. We do have meat there. So our first 4 little housing blocks are going to start to get some food. It is almost May, so we'll be turning on the farms. We're going to be short of employees for quite a while. In fact, we're so short of workers that when I turn grain on here, if I tried to put everybody into food and farming, any of these things, we would have a serious worker shortage, and we'd have zeros across the board and everything. So I'm just going to let things fill up as they want to. We do have a lot of things that need employment, and it'll come. We're short 600. We've got barley coming in. So that's functioning. We're clearing this monument space, so that is working out for us. Could probably turn the work camp to sleep as soon as he is finished, and that'll give us a couple of workers. Come January, I'm going to have to put a bunch of granaries down and get these guys switched over to eating grain. We'll stop the food imports. So that's probably the last figs that we're going to bring in. The gods are happy with us. I don't think we're going to have any beer sales for this upcoming ship. We must be getting close on getting some beer out. 281 workers short, so we're filling up quite nicely. We still don't even have our initial immigrants in the final housing block here. So it looks like when these guys get food, we'll have quite an increase as well in the amount of people that are coming to town. Got some good fertility on some of these farms down here. We might be half complete on our farming before the harvest. And then everybody will be getting fed. So I'm going to go into debt. Oh, we've got some beer for sale here. So I am going to do a couple of things. I'm going to stop importing grain, stop importing game meat, and stop importing figs. Let's see if we sell some beer here before I go and put down all the granaries.
I love the art of the deal. I can't.
He's not buying any beer. We're not going to sell any beer this year. Okay, I'm just going to end up going into debt. I'm going to go on pause now and get my granaries down. One plan for here. Put it on get. We're going to get a half a yard here. Always make sure we got enough food to feed the people and a little bit in reserve in case we run into trouble. These guys are set to eat grain already, so we don't have to make any changes there. We're going to get a half a yard up here. We're going to switch you to buy grain. I'm going to put it where there's some fire coverage. And we're going to get all. We're going to get the bazaars down for these two blocks. Might just leave this one alone here. I'm going to turn on one temple in each block. Set these guys to buy grain. We're going to change this to accepting grain instead of figs. This will be our export grain yard. And change this bazaar to buying grain instead of figs. And we'll get a granary over here as well. And we'll get a half a yard here. So that's 3 granaries on half a yard. That's 4,800. This is on a full, so that's 3,200. So I believe that's 8,000. So anything above 8,000 is kind of surplus. So we're going to export when over 8,000. We might change this number later if we put down more granaries. There, we are really in the hole now. So we're hoping for an early ship for beer in the new year. Now we're short 97 workers. Can't wait to see this grain harvest. We're over 60% on this field. Okay, let's get our festival to Bast. Let's put this work camp to sleep. And it wants stonemasons. I'm going to put one down. Just so we can maybe get a heads up on how things are working here. Got 2,000 people. Going to actually connect the lighthouse site up, and we'll see if a stonemason will actually make a walk up there. We have 3 ships coming down, so we're likely going to get some beer sold and some grain sold. I don't know where it came out of. We are out of debt. And we're back in debt. And we have unemployment. I think it's time we get the pottery and the bricks going. I'm gonna need 8 clay pits to support 5 potters and 5 bricklayers. Just realized I've got this in a bad spot. And I'm gonna need some yards for bricks and pots. So let's accept pottery here. Let's accept bricks here. And let's accept grain here. And we'll get the potters down. And we'll get the brickworks down. I don't want to put it any place where I can put extra clay pits if we want to do more potters later. So we'll do it like that. And then we've got some flexibility if we want to increase the number of potters. The straw guys are moving. They have something to do now. And we need 93 workers. And we're 2,000 in debt. I'm going to put this stonemason to sleep. Oh, he did make it all the way up here. So that's a good sign. We can probably work on both monuments at once we start bringing in marble. Gems. So let's just do a little tweak here. We're going to accept gems here. And we are going to turn one of our jewelers on. So we'll turn the jewelry on. We'll put 3 of them to sleep, and we'll work with 1. And then hopefully that'll be a seed for Todd to notice and gift us a yard full of jewelry. Heavily in debt, but we've got some things to sell. Oh my God. It wasn't on. Is it forfeit? Oh, jeez. Here I thought I was being so clever. Well, I missed a chance to potentially get the top economy going. We did pretty good with the May harvest. We definitely need this granary getting full. Every job is filled. And we do have bricks and pottery in the yard, so things are functioning down there. And then I couldn't take the gems, so I took a kingdom rating hit. Oh, when you're dumb, you're dumb. Well, everybody's got food now, except for this block, because they've never had any food. I have 4% unemployment. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm going to do next. I could start papyrus. Could start a military. It's still pretty early. I think papyrus might be a safer bet. We ever want to bring in flax? I don't know if it's by water. Linen's by water. Iris, I believe, is by water. Well, the lower reed gatherers are going to the lower reeds. And the upper reed gatherers are going to the upper reeds, so that is functioning. Got some weavers already working here in the papyrus makers. We are over 3,000 Devons in debt, so now I'm getting nervous. We want a good enough economy that we can start building military, and a good enough economy that we can start bringing marble in. The grain harvest is about to happen. Sold a few more bricks. Hold the festival to Bast. We're going to get something from Ta pretty soon. Hopefully it is fully stocked. 3,000 people. Beer is full in the export yard. We have unemployment again. Papyrus is starting to come to the yard. Okay, hopefully the corner is turned on the economy and I'll be able to start getting to work. Rain. Oh, jeez. I could have been out of trouble a long time ago, I think. Some more beer sales. %11 unemployment. I better do something about that. And I am out of debt. You know, papyrus sales is about 14 papyrus makers. We might do a little bit of overkill. That's 16. We'll see if we can do that and see if we can keep a full yard here for the ships. But I believe now we're selling everything we can except for weavers and jewelers. We haven't been very lucky with the Taw blessings. He potentially could give us a full yard of pottery. Or he could fill up our weavers and jewelers. So Bast gave everybody food. Doing pretty good for money now. Those papyrus sales helped. So I think we need to figure out what we're going to do next. I guess bringing in some marble would be a way to go. We can just tease it. So we're going to turn the Stonemason Guild on. We're going to turn the work camp on. We're going to have to start bringing in wood and getting the military going. I think I might get the military going. Get some wood coming in for the ships. Get a carpenter up and then bring in some marble. Maybe time to feed and populate this block here. I think that's everybody awake. I won't have any surprises with things I put to sleep. There's potential for one of these papyrus buyers to make a long, goofy walk to here. Once this gets going, we might end up switching it to sales over a full yard here. The demons are coming in. Might be time to give entertainment to some of these blocks and give them another little bit of a population boost. We've got the money coming in. What I might do is take a little bit of a break. It's been almost an hour real time since I brought people into the town here. Actually, more about 45 minutes. We might go to the new year and save and then go to part 2. So what we've accomplished so far is we've got a full economy going. We're about ready to start on the military and the monuments. Got a healthy amount of demons coming in finally. We're halfway to our worker target. And we've got a lot of potential here to grow these bigger. Finally got wood in the yard. So I'm going to put down that Carpenter's Guild. Gonna start bringing in marble. God help me. 210 a pop. That's close to 7,000 Devon just for a full yard of marble. Let's bring in 8 and see what happens to it. The wood's going to the stonemason. We can start making bows. Play until I see some marble come in and see what is going to happen to it. Then we'll do a save. I'll start bringing people to this island too and get a worship up. Lots of things to do in episode 2. Now that we've kind of got a stable economic base established. There's some marble. It is all going to the yard here. To the monument. Doesn't tell us how much we require. I was hoping we'd get some idea, but we're not going to. I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, we started off pretty entertaining, and at least I hope we did. And then we ended up just into the normal slog of watching a city grow. So if you are here, I thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in Ptolemy's Alexandria Part 2.